Lost Nation Archery in Brenton, USA now presents Lead and Limbs Podcast, where broadheads and brass collide, with your hosts Nick Carpenter and Blake Mallory.
All right. We're back here on Lead and Limbs. Nick and I are in studio, and we got a special guest I'll let Nick introduce. I'm probably gonna learn a little bit today. So
so we got John Weece here with Boone Brothers, and I heard about this on the Chasing Giants podcast. And man, when Terry, he's a call to action kind of guy, and the first time I heard about him, I was like, man, that sounds really cool. And then the second time he started talking about it, and then we kind of talked about it via text for a while. And I was like, I want to be involved in that. And I want everybody to kind of understand what he's doing and what kind of impact he's having in Kentucky, and then how we can make that impact over state to state. And I think that's the coolest part, is at some point we're going to be able to be part of what they're doing, and in a big way. So with that, John, tell us where you came from and what you're doing now.
Sure. So live in Lexington, Kentucky, central Kentucky area. I was a school teacher in Haiti for 4 years. And then I led a church here in Kentucky as campuses across the state for the last 26 years. So I've got a 30-year kind of run of helping people. And we have a real food issue in Kentucky, specifically around children. So 21% of our kids are going to bed hungry at night. That same demographic doesn't eat when they leave school on Friday until they come back on Monday. So they're completely dependent on schools for food, which is really sad. And I don't think that's unique to Kentucky. I think that statistic's probably pretty common most places anymore.
I agree.
Big Daniel Boone fan. He's Kentucky's native son and hunter and outdoorsman, premier guy. So I had a Bible study I led for years for men, and we called it Boone Brothers. And about 3 years ago, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife reached out to me and just asked if I'd be interested in helping them develop a pilot program to feed kids using venison. And what's oftentimes lacking in some of the feeding programs is just good protein.
Sure.
And as you know, venison's an abundant resource. We have a ton of deer in Kentucky. You guys have them up there too. And
we do.
Hunters are engaged. They want to help. And they're just running crops. We have a lot of issues with them here. So just started kind of thinking about it from multiple angles. And then when I stepped away from what I was doing at the church back in January, so January 4th, I walked away from there. January 5th, I launched Boone Brothers publicly. And so we're 4 months in, and we've got a lot of momentum and traction. But our goal is to create about 250,000 of these packages. They have 2 sticks in them, and utilizing hunter donations. So we're trying to make it as easy as we can for hunters to donate deer. And since we launched, we've had cattle farmers come to the table too. So now we're in beef production. So
Nice.
We hope to double our numbers from 250,000 to 500,000 for this upcoming school year, so we can feed as many kids as we can. And then the way we're developing the strategy is we want to scale it so we can take it to other states, as you mentioned, and very excited about that opportunity. But I'm just asking people, let me get Kentucky figured out before we get too far out over our skis.
I'm sure you're getting blown up as far as that goes too. I mean, as soon as I started hearing about it and wanted to look into it, and I know that was the first thing I asked you, is when are you going to make this scalable? And I'm sure other people are thinking that same thing in their states. And that's kind of what we do. I mean, I can help you in Kentucky because I hunt in Kentucky, but we can only shoot one deer in Kentucky down where I'm at. And I have to get a couple doe tags to be able to do that as well. But I feel like up here, we could make a heck of a difference, especially in the Michigan market. Just based on deer numbers, we have almost 2 million deer, 1.7 million, I think is the last guess. So I feel like at that point, we could help out in a big way.
Yeah, I think you actually lead the United States in deer population, if I've read the statistics correctly.
Yeah, we just don't lead the deer in age group. We got a lot of deer. They're just really young deer.
Okay, that's good to know.
So yeah,
people up there.
We just have an abundance of hunters. Michigan has one of the largest. I think Wisconsin's got the largest.
yeah, I think so. I think we're right around 600,000 hunters last year.
So 600,000. You look at that, and then you look at Iowa's total deer population's like 500,000, 700,000, somewhere in that range. So we've got almost as many hunters as Iowa has deer.
That's a problem.
It definitely is. It makes it difficult.
It's an opportunity for us. I'm excited to hear that, because we'll definitely tap that market.
No, I think it'll be one of the best. I think Pennsylvania will be right there too. I mean, at some point. But So explain to me what you guys are doing from, let's just say a guy harvests a deer. What does he do with it? Where is he going to take it? What's the plan of action at that point?
Yeah, so we developed a prototype refrigerated trailer that we have set up right now in 9 counties on Tractor Supply, Farm Supply, business parking lots.
Okay.
And they say Boone Brothers on the side. So when you harvest your deer, we just ask you to field dress it, bring it to one of those refrigerated units, and there is a boom that swings out over the bed of your truck. You hook up the hook, there's a winch that pulls it up, and then it slides on a rail system into the back of the trailer.
Okay.
And we get a notification from a Starlink camera system that a deer's been donated. So when there's 25 in each pod, we empty them and bring them back here centrally. And we have volunteer teams that skin and debone. And
Okay.
we'll collect the meat, put it in a big freezer that we have in a barn. And then all of that gets collected and at one time is taken to an Amish meat processing company in Southern Kentucky. And they're the ones that then turn it into the product that we call Boom Bites. And that's what we distribute to schools.
Okay. So are you guys grinding the meat up
Yep.
and then it's going to be strip meat then?
It's just strip meat. And
Nice.
so we don't have to do anything. It makes it a lot easier, man. You get a lot faster process.
I'm just wrapping my head around all this and
The logistics of it, we've had to think through all that. And the good news is each package costs $1.
okay.
And again, it has 2 sticks in it. So we're in it for $1 per stick. When you think about all that's going into it to get it to production and delivery, that's not a lot of skin in the game. So we're doing some fundraising to help cover that, and don't think that'll be an issue just because people have a heart for kids.
No, I think you'll get the donations you need for sure. Yeah.
And so there's no cost to the hunter. The hunter brings their deer in and then they pick it up. That's awesome because I think that's a huge hurdle. Like a lot of times when you want to donate meat to certain things, you got to go get paid and get it processed and then donated processed meat around here for things. And there's not an ease with it.
Well, that's what we do every year. I mean, my wife and I, we probably donate between 7 and 10 and we pay the processing, which we've always done.
Yeah.
And my grandma runs the food pantry up here and we just donate them and we keep them in our freezer and actually donate them throughout the summer because that's when they say they have the least amount of protein. So
we have similar obstacles here. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the stand where I'm like, man, do I take that? Because one is the processor even going to be open, and that can sometimes be an issue, especially in rural counties. So Fish and Wildlife here in Kentucky has a grant that they get that pays processors to skin and debone deer for another program that feeds adults.
Okay.
And that's pretty well known in the state where our niche is just kids. And so we might eventually get involved with that program. Fish and Wildlife definitely has been favorable towards us and wants us involved in everything. But right now we're looking at the opportunity to create kind of these, friendship thing around skinning and deboning and getting men together. So we fit up a barn, put a big fire pit out there, and we want to make it fun for volunteers to get together and do something meaningful.
Yeah.
So we kind of like the idea of these dough depots, as we call them. That's what we're calling our refrigerated units. And they're, start with 9. The goal is to get to 50, 60 of them eventually. And that's what we'll bring to Michigan and other states is just the model, show you how we do it, and give everybody a playbook and say, man, build your volunteer teams and launch it. We don't want to try to micromanage or control it because every state's going to have some nuances with how it works. And so we're just going to call it a scale of sameness. So every state we'd love out of 10 to be an 8, have at least our DNA because we're going to help you figure out what works and doesn't work.
Sure.
But then in those little nuanced things that are unique to the state, we'll leave it up to those teams of people to figure it out.
And I think that that's really cool. I mean, how cool is I think about the fellowship part of it. What's lost in deer hunting in Michigan now, we're losing that tradition and heritage. So how cool is it to bring back that tradition and heritage with a group of guys that you enjoy being with, spending time at a pole barn skinning deer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you like our deer just promotes shooting antlerless, where they're like, just please go shoot some does. And then a lot of the turmoil that comes with as, all right, I should shoot 5 does off my property. I got to take care of 5 does. I got to process some. I got, and I mean, my household shot 7 deer last year in ours. And, that's a lot of meat for my
It's a lot of messing around. It really is.
But no,
it's a lot of work.
What's that?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And the other thing is I process all my own and I've tried to donate before and they won't take it.
Right.
Because I process it myself.
Yep.
So, and then I was like, well, it's just too much of a hassle to try to donate my meat.
I can't imagine that your guys' DNR is like Michigan DNR. I imagine the Michigan DNR is going to be an absolute nightmare to mess with, even though we're doing this for the common good.
So I know there's something.
There's a hush program.
Yeah, that's why I don't know what it is, but they did during block permit time set up like a
They did have
freezer.
a couple of walk-in trailers and coolers for block permits. So that's something we do a lot of in Michigan is block permits. Block permits midsummer, and that's just that's crop damage and damage control. And some people are for it, some people are against it. I would say in Michigan, I know a lot of big farmers that take several deer a year, and they do not see a difference in the deer population. So I don't know whether it helps or hurts, but there is that option. And man, to have a cooler to put those in midsummer in locations, that's what I keep thinking about, is having them in close locations in the lower portions of these counties. So how many, or you had said 9 counties is what you're putting them in Kentucky. What counties are you going to start on the western side of Kentucky and work your way this way, or?
No, we're in central Kentucky for now. Western's where we want to end up because that's where all the ag is.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are big deer population. We call them zone 1, where limitless amount of deer that you can shoot. And for a reason, and we're in the crop depredation program as well. So we're a designated hunting group that farmers can call, and we'll send out what we call strike teams and take deer. And then we have a reefer truck too that we can load up and, take as many deer as we can. A lot of these farms will get 75 tags,
Wow.
And be able to shoot as many of those and to use them. A lot of farmers just shoot them and let them lay.
Right. Yeah.
Which I understand. But we're talking tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in crop damage every year in Kentucky because of deer. So
yes,
we're working with hunters, farmers, and teachers. I can't think of 3 better demographics of people to serve in my mind. I'm just so pumped about making a difference and linking arms with great people. I mean, there's so many good people in the hunting industry that no one ever knows about. They're quiet typically, but they have a good heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to turn this passion into something beneficial. And we have, again, an abundance of this natural resource that's just going to waste. So
I agree. When I heard about it, I loved it. What are you guys doing as far as the schools? How does the school get on that program with you?
Yeah, it's interesting. We're going to have to kind of trial and error this a little bit, but what we've done so far is we've asked the Board of Education in each county to send us the elementary school that they think needs it the most.
Okay.
So you got to start somewhere. And there's usually 1 or 2 schools in the county that stand out, unfortunately. And so I always call this the sad opportunity with what we're doing, and I'm now, my eyes are open to how bad it is. And what we'll do is we'll also put other schools on a wait list in case we harvest too many deer or more than we expected. Then we can, bring them some of the protein as well. But we're not trying to micromanage this. At the end of the day, we want teachers to identify the kids that need it the most. Their boots on the ground, front line, let them slip them into the backpacks of those students who they know if they don't get this, they're probably going to go hungry.
They're not going to eat tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask how you're going to do distribution and stuff inside of the schools, because my mind goes to like vending machines and stuff like that, and not. But you could put it in there for free if a kid needs it. He needs it.
Yeah, my mind would be like, how much jerky can try to resist?
Yeah. Okay. So how many pieces of jerky? You get 2 in a bag. How many bags can you make out of one deer?
Yeah, each deer's 150 to 175 packages.
So 150, let's just say on the low end, 150 kids get to go home with something to eat tonight because you brought in 1 deer.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome to me. I let that sink in for a minute. You're feeding 150 kids.
On the hunter side of things, like I like that a kid who might not get to experience the taste of venison can actually, try that, see if they enjoy it. Like, and it might ignite somebody to be like, well, hey, maybe I actually want to get into hunting as well.
Yeah.
That brings up a fascinating point. When we first got started and we met with this Amish outfit, I explained what we wanted to do. And, we all said kids are probably not going to like spicy stuff like we do. Their palates are a little more heightened because they haven't worn down their taste buds over years. We need ketchup and salt and spices because we're old. They really worked hard to create a recipe that they thought kids would like. And then we fine-tuned it. We beta tested it with 200 kids and we didn't get 1 complaint.
Wow.
And that's interesting, when you think about kids and
Yeah.
it's kind of barbecue, it's a real sweet flavor. And now the feedback, we're soliciting feedback from school resource officers, teachers, parents. It's a hit. So
Good.
we landed on the secret sauce, so to speak.
Perfect. That's awesome. It's kind of, I mean, it's a cool thing to do all the way around, but to be involved and have that many, I don't know, wheels in a cog. I mean, there's so many different things going on here, but you got your hunters, you've got your teachers, and you've got those processing it, and it's all being processed by volunteer, which is so wild to me, but really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it
It touches
gives
about
you,
the heart of people. People are so like they're just looking for something to give to be a part of that's significant. So when they lay their head to the pillow at night, they're not just taking. We
I
got enough
totally agree.
consumerism in our country, so it's all around meets a huge need, and I'm
And
seeing that.
Well, it's like, Michigan right now, which I mean, excites me to, eventually, if we get it here, they push for doe harvest. And,
yeah, absolutely.
if you're like, well, I don't want to do all that. And it's like, okay, it's for a good cause. And I need to take out these 5 does on my property each year or whatever it might be. But I mean, it opens up a whole world of possibility of reasons why. Because I mean, nobody wants to take a game and waste it, and that's the
No,
last thing you wanna do.
I think you're missing the point. It's not if, it's when.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, yeah, we've been talking. We're coming, whether you guys want us or not. So
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna figure it out one way or the other. It's gonna come here. I think it's cool, and you're exactly right about the opportunity to serve. And the human heart wants to serve nine times out of 10. There's some people that don't want to, but there's a lot of good people out there that don't know how they can be involved, and especially hunters, because we're not ostracized, but at the same time, how do you take what you love as a passion and turn it into some way to give? And
yeah,
this is a perfect opportunity to do that with like-minded people.
Mm.
So you're finding that niche of people, and I can't wait for it to come to Michigan because I think it'll be a big hit. I think you'll see almost colonies of people do this throughout the state of Michigan. There will be smaller processing units that are processing in the same process that you're doing now, but it'll be across the state. I think you'll have more than one processing place. I think you'll have more than one jerky place. I think that there's going to be so many people that want to be involved that that's about the only way you'll be able to do it. They won't all travel to the same spot, but how cool would it be for us to be able to do that in our own state? I mean, I think what you guys are doing is amazing, and I can
thank
see it growing as you guys are going, as you're moving forward. I mean, it's just I don't know. I knew
well,
immediately I wanted to be involved somehow.
you. It means a lot. I mean, it's a shot in the arm to us just to be on this podcast and get the word out. And one of the other I think there are a couple other side benefits. Is one, youth engagement in hunting, getting the next generation outdoors, off the screens, go
Yeah.
enjoy. It's fascinating now how many kids are asking questions about bow shooting, and I mean we're getting a lot of interesting feedback, and that's exciting to me because we've just kind of developed a new arm, and we're going to launch it once the season starts, of kids helping kids.
Mm.
And the way I'm projecting this is, if you can help your kids understand, hey, you're going to harvest this doe, and then walk them beginning to end, help them field dress it, help them bring it to the doe depot, have them watch our videos, even come visit our barn while if they want to, and then,
Hmm.
help us distribute these in the schools. Cause I think a lot of kids, they don't understand that they're sitting next to someone at school who maybe isn't as blessed as they are. So just expanding that horizon in their little hearts and minds will be a huge benefit. And I think the other thing is conservation. Most most people really have no concept of striking a balance of food for people, food for animals. And it's like, we've got to have this conversation in our country or we're not going to have any crops. And they're just, at least in Kentucky, they're destroying farms. There's a great way to get the word out and help people understand these deer are starving to death. There's predation. They're getting hit by cars. There's a lot of things taking them out, a lot worse than hunting. And so it's all around. It's been fun just to engage with people and help them better understand that this is really probably the way God designed things to work. He provides some natural resource and we use it for the good of others.
Sure, exactly. Blake hits hard on the youth engagement. He's he's a huge advocate for he believes that we have such a decline in our hunting core group that at some point everything is going to be, there's not going to be any 18 to 20-year-old hunters anymore because we've just let them all go to screens or let them all go. Well, they aren't going to understand, and nobody wants to take them out. And I feel like I don't know if I have that problem because I surround myself with mostly people that all hunt, but I think that, I mean, I see it at least in my younger kids' classes. They don't talk about it like we used to talk about it. Hunting is not a thing.
It's 100% not like it used to be. I mean, November 15th, Michigan is our opening day, and they couldn't do school. My school actually had school, but most schools, surrounding schools, would cancel school on that day because it's a holiday.
It was a holiday because you just didn't have the attendance. They couldn't even count it as a day because they didn't have the attendance.
And that was the thing, is they couldn't even teach that day because there wasn't enough people there. And now, like, I talked to my daughter, and she talks to the same 4 or 5 people in her school that hunt, and it's just it's a huge decline. And that's why I said, if you could ignite some of those taste buds with somebody that for the venison, and then also take kids out to help with those doe tags and explain to them, like my daughters, hey, this is what we're going to do with it, and that's what you're going to do. The other aspect too is my wife is a teacher, and she we donated a lot of things out of our own, whether it be winter coats or whatever it might be. Like all those teachers, like you said, they know they've got a bead on their own class and those kids that might be in need with that. And so it's a good feeler. Like you said, it's a great type of people to work with and see what it might need.
Well, the teacher retention rates in our state are pretty low. And so one of the side benefits as well of what we're doing is we're going to do a teacher encouragement piece. I'm a big believer in this. The church I was in, we serve teachers every year, and just encouragement as well as providing supplies and everything they might need to be successful. Because what we're asking of teachers is completely unrealistic. We're essentially asking teachers to be parents, police, coaches, counseling, all of it. And it's not the way God designed it. So really what we have in our country is a parenting issue at the end of the day, and 100%. And I think with these teachers, I hate to see them bow out because they're just exhausted, frustrated. And I get it. I was a school teacher. I was taught 4th grade. So I saw it firsthand, and had a little girl pass out while taking a spelling test, and she was just hungry. That was it. She just wasn't getting nourishment. And hungry children are going to become angry adults. So we're just a generation away from seeing some real issues full blown in society. And I think we can nip a little bit in the bud just by, again, simple expression of God's love. Hey, here's some adults that recognize you're hungry, and we want to meet that need. So, but for the teachers, keeping them in the game. And so I got to figure that piece out. We haven't completely nailed it down, but I want to make sure that teachers know there's a group of adults too that care about them.
There might be a side donation there. It might just be another leg of it, bringing in the money, saying, "Hey, we're gonna thank the people that are actually distributing all this stuff to these kids. They are the front line."
Yep.
And you're not wrong. They're counselors too, and I can't even imagine in this day and age. And we've had short conversations with Blake's wife and Kelly, I guess. And
I'm around too. Like, after I went through school, I'm like, I'm never talking to another teacher again in my life. And then I ended up marrying one that every family member around here is a teacher too, and cousins and whatnot. So I get to see the mentality, and I know all of them, they like, my wife has come home and like, I just want to take this little girl home, or, so they know, and they know what's going on. And if there's a way that they can help, I know they always do. And we always do too. So,
yeah. And I think that gets lost. So this is a great way to do that small little bit. I mean, it's in a big way. I mean, 150 kids, I keep going back to that. You shoot a deer, you're feeding 150 kids. And I think that's just, once somebody sees it like that and looks at it that way while they're out hunting, it's like, hey, that deer right there feeds 150 kids. It's not a problem. We can take an extra 20 minutes this evening and drop it off at the depot. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Well, yeah. Now I can be like my wife. I'm like, I'm going to help
I'm going
people.
to feed
Like, I'm not going hunting. I'm going to help.
Yeah, I'm going to help.
So I'm with you.
I'm donating my time.
I've already set my tag limit for this year, and I'm so excited because I get to have, I don't know, probably an extra 30 hours in the stand. So it's going to be fantastic. Well, the other thing is the cattle piece, which we haven't really addressed.
We haven't talked about that.
We're trying to figure it out, you guys. Like, I got to be honest, I don't know much about beef, but I'm learning. I like beef. I like to eat it.
Yeah.
Just don't know much about. So they showed up day one. We started getting phone calls. Hey, I got a dead cow. Y'all take it. And I was like, and that's USDA, just a whole different realm.
It
So
is.
we're getting it figured out. We have now butchered 11 cows.
Wow.
And so we're stockpiling that meat too. And one cow is 1,500 packages of Boone Bites.
Wow.
So it 10X's our capacity to feed more kids. And the cool thing from the farmers we're talking to is they have these cull cows. It's similar to cull deer. They have these cull cows that when they take them to market, they can't get any money for it. They might be blind. They might have a wounded hoof. The meat is totally fine.
Mhm.
Yep.
And so what we're doing is we're giving them a receipt in kind, a tax receipt in kind. So they get to determine the
they get a
value of that.
donation.
So they get a benefit from it. And we're trying to find USDA processors to help us process those cattle. And what we're telling those processors is we just need you to do 10 a year for us. Because if we got 120 to 150 cows a year butchered, lights out. I mean, we can do so much good. So know that too, as we come north, there'll be some of that conversation that we need to kind of dial in and figure out, get the right people to help us organize that communication piece and keep all that separate from the venison. The venison's, it's kind of a wild west.
I think our processors here have to be able to do both because most of our processors here do beef and deer in the same location.
Okay.
So I'm almost certain they have to be
So
USDA'd.
when I guided, it was in High Fence Ranch when I guided out of college, and we were USDA approved for it because they did sell their meat for jerky. So we had to go through the whole, we had bleach down before, we had bleach down after, we had all this whole huge cleaning process. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but we would do, I remember and that was one of the questions I was going to have. Do you guys struggle to get the number of deer that you want, or are you guys securing that number of deer?
I mean, basically, this is a start.
We're pretty confident we'll be able to secure our goal. Especially during rifle season, I tend to kind of get out of the woods during that period. I want to live.
I want to live. I want to live.
But I'm sitting there 6 a.m. just hearing cracks of the rifle 100 yards away. I'm like, I need to get out of here. But a lot of deer are put down then, and we know that. So what we're doing is just kind of beefing up our volunteer teams for that 2-week run and making sure that we have a lot of volunteers to help us skin and strip and get everything done. Because I think that's probably where we'll get the majority of our deer.
Yeah, I think that's where it'll be your bottleneck, that 2 to 3 weeks of rifle season and the end of rut. I mean, that's going to be.
I can see our early doe season being a big time too, just because people don't like to take care of them. I agree.
It's warm. I'd rather shoot those does in early season, to be honest with you. So,
they taste better.
Yeah, they taste better for sure.
They do.
And summer deer taste better. You'll know that with your black permits.
Yeah, we're excited about that. That's another big opportunity. Smaller deer, they're not as fat, but
right.
But
it's still free deer.
Yeah.
So you have your counties picked out. Are you going to put them on your website somewhere so that they can find them? I mean, how do they find that? I mean, because that's going to be the basic question everybody in Kentucky is going to start asking, right?
Yeah. So our website and our social medias will have a QR code that you just scan on your phone.
Awesome.
And it pulls up a kind of a simple questionnaire, name, phone number, email, and confirmation number is all we need.
Okay.
And you hit submit, and the door to the freezer will click open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's kind of our thinking at this point. And then again, we get the notification. You're told the location, go drop it off. And then we'll put maps, interactive maps everywhere too, just in case QR code doesn't work or something like that, and a phone number where you can just call us and we'll take it down manually, if we have to.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really handy.
Yeah. So it's an unmanned station where they can drop it off. It's very convenient.
Yeah, you're almost going to have it that way. Otherwise, you'd have a volunteer I mean, I'm sure there's some places
trying to eliminate all the excuses. Again, we've all been in the stand where you're like, I'd like to do this, but so we're trying to make it as easy and excuse free as possible, so that you're back home when you want to get home, but you've made a very big contribution. It's not a small contribution.
No, it's a huge contribution.
And everybody loves jerky.
Well, and everybody loves jerky. I haven't met a kid yet that doesn't like jerky.
I make so many big batches at our house, and I'm like, I got to go give some of this to this farmer, some of this to this farmer. Half the time I can't make it to the farmer because it's already gone by the time I got to get there. So, that's awesome. So you got a lot of deer on the back of your wall there.
Yeah.
You mostly Kentucky?
Yes, primarily Kentucky. My office here is in my basement. That's the other fun thing about our warehouse is everybody's bringing taxidermy here, and their wives are thrilled. Right? They're all going out of houses. It's coming here. Yeah, I've been a bow hunter here with my son for a long time. We've hunted Missouri before and had good success there with rifles, but we love just local deer hunting and turkey hunting. Our turkey season is, done now, but just never get tired of being out in the woods. I've done some Western hunts too, handful of those, and had a blast. It's a totally different kind of hunting, which, man, just vast, wide open, mountainous terrain, and trained for a lot of that, which is really, really fun. So hope to be able to do more of that in the future. It's just a little bit more expensive than what we're doing here in Kentucky. So.
Well, if you get a few people that are starting to donate elk and elk depots, you're going to have to go out there and show them how to do it. So
thank you.
Get a few more than 150 sticks.
Yeah.
I might need you to record that and we'll email it to my wife. That'd be great.
Colorado, Montana, New Mexico. You hearing this? This is what you guys need to do.
Well, it's funny because we've had that question, and I don't know. The Western states, I know whitetail populations are different, but they do have bigger animals like elk, and they have a lot of antelope, and we'll just have to figure that out when the time comes. It's, again, not an obstacle; it's an opportunity.
Yeah, I think once you get your scalable model and it's just a model for somebody to follow, and I don't think it'll be a problem for any of those states to be able to do it. Yeah. I don't know that there's a whole lot of people out there that are actually donating elk because, man, I would be hard pressed to give up an elk. But I mean, I'm not out there. I don't live out there.
Well, there's a lot of meat there.
When I bring one home, yeah, maybe give half of it.
Yeah.
So
it tastes really good.
They are so good.
Yeah, we had elk burger at turkey camp this weekend. So,
so good.
I think in places like Texas, it's got all the invasives like the Nilgai and all that stuff now that are really amazing foods, but not so much the pork. I don't think that well, it'd be tough to make a hog taste good.
I think the beauty of the whole project is you've got it streamlined. We're not gonna make some burger and do some steaks or something. Like the whole idea is to, have an easy drop off, have the process designed and have it, streamlined and,
yeah, you're getting to the kids and it's one product going right to the kids.
And it's one of the products that, I prefer. Give me my backstrap or inner loins, but jerky's the next.
Yeah, that's 100% the same way.
Yeah. So. Well, and it helps too that any kind of meat can be turned into jerky.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is very, very practical. We're just reminding our team and our volunteers because we're hearing a lot of ideas. It's like our bullseye is just that. Those boom bites, period. We don't want to get, I always say McDonald's was successful because they didn't serve tacos or pizza. They knew
exactly what they were doing.
A cheeseburger and get you on your way. And I think we need to kind of keep that singular focus at Boone Brothers too.
I think that's a great idea. I think focusing on one thing.
Yeah.
You do one thing successfully and then that's it.
One of my favorite, turkey jerky is my favorite, but I'm like, every time you shoot a turkey, you don't get that much.
Oh,
so.
Here we are with turkey jerky. He's been trying to talk about turkey jerky forever.
Oh, it's so good.
It's not that good.
Oh, it's
our turkey season is still going. Blake and I still haven't shot a turkey yet.
But,
no. We've seen a couple.
Mine only opened Saturday.
Yeah,
so
we got a lot of mushroom hunters here this time of year.
Yeah.
And it's almost wrapped up, but it moves those birds around so much, even on private.
Sure it does.
Yeah. So when all that's said and done, I think we'll land a few here. But
yeah, I had a buddy up from Georgia, and the trout opener opened the weekend before. I had birds basically pegged, and then all of a sudden, guys were up and down the river, and they were pushed way back. But we ended up getting one. So, but it's probably I might slide out this afternoon yet too. So
it's funny how that works too. You wouldn't think that the pressure on a bird because I would say they're relatively dumb, but.
You think whitetail are dumb.
I do.
You think every animal you hunt is dumb. No respect.
I don't give
smart Nick out there. He can get any
I don't give him as much respect as he need, probably. But birds in general. I don't know. My wife raises a ton of birds, so maybe that's what it is. I just think that you wouldn't think that pressure, human pressure, would be that big a deal.
Man,
after I think 4 or 5 times, they're just like, there's just enough of it. I don't want to be over here.
They push them out into the swamp, and they got water, they got food, they got cover, and they're not seeing anybody. And that they were just those are secondary spot. But that's where they were.
You're describing like every big buck's home range.
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, where we killed it is where I've deer hunted for too. So I mean,
Right.
that's the only reason I knew it.
Yeah, it's interesting here with turkeys. You know, you got to be careful not to get in too much, and even in scouting, because you'll booger them up, and they see humans. They're like, yeah, I don't think I want to come back to that area. So we're pretty careful to leave them alone, especially the last couple of weeks. Have a general idea that they're there. We get them roosted, but you can do that at a distance, I think.
Oh
And
yeah. That's similarly how we do it too. Is we roost them and then go in the next morning, or midday hunts. He's had a lot of luck in midday hunts.
Yeah.
Really,
I've always said with them turkeys, I always say I hate shooting them off the roost. They're always henned up. They always get hung up on me, and like about 9 o'clock on to about 5 o'clock. That's when I think I've killed most of my birds. But
interesting.
Lone turkey, typically they're just looking for another hen. They'll wander through.
I just always say those turkeys are the smartest, dumbest animal you'll ever see, because they can be absolutely brilliant.
I think they just do everything at a whim. I don't think they ever do anything on purpose.
Like, I swear they'll come into a decoy that's a black trash bag on some days, and other days you could have the best setup in the world, and they're like, nope.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that for sure. I mean, I think their eyesight is what's gives them any advantage. I don't know if it's forethought as much as it is in the moment. They just see something they don't like. They're shutting up and walking away.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is, like, even if they see something they don't like, they're not like a whitetail where they'll stomp and blow at you and let you know they don't like it. They'll just skirt you, and they will and they'll still gobble at you and be like, "Yeah, you're not gonna get me today."
Yeah, I'm not coming any closer. Is turkey season in Kentucky kind of like it is in the southern states, where they treat it like it's almost a holiday? His friends up in Georgia were from Georgia, that they eat, sleep, and breathe it.
It's a big deal here.
Yeah,
I would say turkey and deer hunting both are among the people that hunt in Kentucky. It's a big deal, and I think because you get to interact with the bird, there's just something special about it. I think most people here would say, I love to be on the pursuit of a big buck, but there's still something really fun about them talking to you, and it's unique. So yeah, the first week here, it's crazy in a good way.
I tell Blake all the time, if he's never been elk hunting, and I said, if you like turkey hunting, you get a bull bugling at you, you would quit turkey hunting tomorrow. You would be like, yep, that's the last time I'm doing that.
I know that would be the case with me. I've never elk hunted, and I know,
man,
I would love it. I've watched the video. I'm like, man, that looks fun.
You got to go do it at least once. If I could recommend it, do it guided if you could the first time. And we did that. We would, years ago. I've been going since I think I was 12 the first time Dad took us. We would go guided. We went guided the very first time, so we kind of had an idea of how to hunt the area. And then every 2 years, because we couldn't afford it every year, we would afford it every 2 years. Him and I would go back out, and we would hunt state ground in Colorado. And I learned what not to do for the first 10 years of my life. And then finally, once we figured out how to kill elk, it clicked. And then the interaction that you get with them is so much more. It's similar to turkeys, but it's so much more intense when they're 20, 30 yards away from you bugling. And I mean, it's in your chest.
They're big too.
Yeah, and they are big, and they can get away from you faster than you would think they ever could too. They just blow through brush that you would never think they'd go through, and quietly too. You're like, how the heck did they get away from me? So yeah. I was addicted to it. I think I've killed 5 bulls, and everything that we've done has been Colorado or Montana. And it wasn't until I went to Montana and really learned how to call that I went back to Colorado and was able to capitalize on that. But
that's one of my biggest things, is why I haven't pulled the trigger on it, is because I know 75 people that, we're going elk hunting.
Never seen it.
Didn't even see anything. Yep. Like, they trained all summer. They got all the gear.
That's why I say go.
And they're like, yeah, we didn't even see an elk.
That's why I say,
oh, yeah, that sounds like a riot.
Save the money and go guided one time, because you have to learn how to do it.
Well, I put in for Kentucky elk every year. Haven't drawn that. That's for sure.
Yeah, put in for Michigan every year.
And the Michigan every year. Just put in for Michigan. So I got.
Well, we're a sleeper state with elk. I mean, we've got big elk out in the mining region of Eastern Kentucky.
Absolutely.
And so we've got 2 here in the warehouse that are, I mean, they would shock you that they're that big.
Really?
So, Yeah, it's all reclaimed land. After all the mining, they just reforested it, brought them back in the 1990s, and they're untouched, man. No one's out there messing with them. It's a low populated area in terms of people traffic.
Wow.
And they just tuck in there and feel safe. And the boys that live out there, they know, similar to what you were saying about elk out west. If you got someone that knows where they're at, you're probably going to get on a big one. Now, it's hard to get drawn for it, but if you get that tag,
Yeah.
man, there's some monsters in Kentucky.
I think it's the same way in Michigan up there by Alpena and Athens up there.
Yeah, but if I draw the Michigan tag, which is if we draw a bull tag in Michigan, it's once in a lifetime, and you have to be a resident to draw it. And like I've got 10 points into it, but someone with 1 point can draw this year.
Yeah, it's a random draw.
So I have 10 names in the hat. Is all it really comes down to. And I started putting my daughters in for it and everything, but in my opinion, the way they hunt them up there,
no, it's more like a pasture hunt.
Well, I'm not gonna do that, and that's like I can't do it. All of them drive around.
Well,
they've got a guide.
It's all flat ground up there too. There's no real mountainous area like there is in Kentucky. It's more farm ground up there.
But I've got a buddy who goes up there and he calls them in. He goes up on the state land and he calls them in bugling. I got videos of them.
Oh, I bet they would too. I mean,
he's like, you're not getting a guide. He's like, you get one. He goes, I'm gonna call him one in, and I'm like,
there you go. Well, I mean, I don't really have any more questions as far as Boone Brothers go. How can they get a hold of you? If someone wants to donate, you have a spot on your website to donate, or we just call you direct? What are they doing?
Either way, our website's boonebrothers.org. And so there's a donate button there. We have some merchandise. That money goes towards the cost of producing the Boom Bites and also gets the word out, to people, helps them understand who we are and what we're doing. So we got sweatshirts and hats and t-shirts, nothing fancy, but,
is
appreciate
that way to donate, kick in?
Yeah, it's one of them. I mean, we're taking, some people are donating on a monthly basis. They're like, hey, I'm going to give $25 a month because that'll feed 25 kids, or it'll feed one kid 25 times that month. Either way you look at it, it's a cool way to participate. So that's big. And then, I think Stu, just stay in tune, follow us on social media. And, I think our goal right now, at least the initial conversations, when we go multi-state, we'll probably bundle states. So we'll probably do 3 or 4 at a time, bring interested people either here, or we'll come meet centrally up where you guys are at, get everybody together, explain our process, and kind of have a playbook or toolkit, if you will, to get started. And I think we want to try to raise some money here in Kentucky to seed these other locations. It's just our heart.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing the benefit of this. And if the generous people of Kentucky can help, other states get going, then we want to do that too. So again, our goal is to make this as easy as possible. So as many kids as we possibly can in our lifetime can be fed.
That's cool. It's a noble cause.
No. Yeah. That's why I hunt.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Me too.
Me too, he says. Exactly. Well, we end every podcast with the question, lead or limbs. If you could only have one for the rest of your life, would you choose a rifle or would you choose a bow? You don't have to say why. You just have to pick one.
What a question, man.
Well, the one thing I've started thinking about this too is that to weigh in with it is you gotta consider turkey hunting as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So if you want, I bow hunt for turkey, but give me the 12 gauge any day of the week. So you gotta consider all your options.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
So here's the way I'm going to answer this. I'm going to say I'm 52, so my past definitely bow. The younger me, I've had so many great bow hunts. I wouldn't trade that for anything. But the older me, as I'm moving forward, as eyesight begins to fade, and the risk part of me is kind of getting more and more tame. I probably lean towards lead just because I want to be able to hunt until my final day.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure I'll be able to pull that bow back. I'm still doing a lot of push-ups and burpees and all that stuff. I want to stay active, but 85, 90-year-old me wants to still be out there hunting. So I'm going to go lead.
Nice. Well,
that's where I'm at right now.
Well, no,
I win one every once in a while.
You gotta weigh all your options.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta think of it. Got to think it through. It's a deep question.
It is. It very much is.
Now we
might say between this age and 70, I'm still staying bow, and beyond 70, I'm going to lead.
At some point, we're all going to have to go to lead.
It all comes down as long as you're still hunting. That's all.
That's
really
right.
That's right. Exactly.
Man, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on and just shining the light on this, because we just got started and
absolutely
feel really blessed that there's this kind of interest and camaraderie, and I'll do anything I can to make, work in Michigan. Just know that. And when the time comes, look forward to linking arms with you guys for sure.
Yeah, we'd be happy to.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm already making plans in my head. I do that, set 10 steps ahead, and
Well,
I'm already doing other stuff, but
he
I'm already
got
thinking about
back
this.
and told me about it. And the other thing too is like if we start something around this area, we're right on the Indiana and Ohio border, so it's
Yeah.
almost like a try,
Oh,
like
very cool.
try to
Yeah.
like spread it through.
We're
that.
15 minutes from any state right
Yeah.
now. Indiana, Ohio, and then Illinois is 2 hours away. So
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that makes even more sense. Like I said, maybe we bundle some states and do it all together.
you could do them right
Yeah,
there.
kind
all
of start
three.
it there and let it spread out through
Mhm.
it and kind of set the precedence for it. But
Yeah.
no, it's awesome what you guys are doing, and I appreciate you coming on and, any way we can help. And I look forward to, linking arms with you in the future and helping, because this is all about what I love to do and everything in a nutshell, youth and hunting. So, I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thanks, man.
We appreciate you.
Get you some big bucks this year, guys. I hope you get on something good.
You the same. We're gonna try turkeys first, and we'll let you know how that goes. So,
Okay.
All right.
Well, have fun.
Thanks
All
for
right.
being on, John.
Thanks, John.
See you guys.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Lead and Limb Podcast, brought to you by Lost Nation Archery in Brenton, USA.